I used to like undo something and then I start making something, I undo, I even used to crochet while I was walking, crossing the street, and we had so many. Hi friends, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Masandra. If you see my face for the first time, you're welcome. So I started my channel. I didn't even get the time to do an introduction video. I just went straight to vlogs and tutorials, and I have been having a lot of questions on Instagram about how I started, what got me into this, and how it has actually been in the journey along the way for those past few years. And I thought maybe I should just sit down and make a full detailed Q&A and let you guys know everything. Spill the tea. I'm about to spill the tea from the beginning to now. I'm going to let you guys know everything. So I do have a few questions that was asked on Instagram, so I'm going to go through those questions, and I feel like I'm probably going to spill all the tea while answering those questions because you guys want to know. So let's get right into the video, into the questions. I'm going to see if I can find questions that can actually relate to the beginning, and then questions that can relate to the end, so I'm not all over the place, if it makes sense. But let's see if that is something. Okay, so I found one. This one says it's from Emma, and she says, when did you start crocheting? And I feel like I'm saying this for the 1,000th time. I do not remember when I started crocheting, and the reason is because I do not remember when I started crocheting, and that is because I started when I was very young. And if you don't know, I am a Sierra Leonean. I was born and raised in Sierra Leone, and if you don't know where Sierra Leone is in West Africa. I was born and raised in Sierra Leone, and while growing up, crocheting was one thing every young girl in Sierra Leone could do. Like, it's just like it was a trend somehow. Everybody could do crochet, and I was just following the trend. I remember when I had a summer vacation we usually have a period when we have like 2 months of holiday, just like the summer vacation, and I would just like go to the markets, to the open market, and then I'll get lots of yarn, and then they used to wrap it like just like this, and then they'll sell it for like €1, not like €1, but then equivalent to €1, and that is what I would buy and then come home and spend my whole holiday crocheting. And the most funniest part was I never really get to finish anything, and if I do finish something, I'm going to undo it and start doing it again. I used to like undo something and then I start making something, I undo and start. I even used to crochet while I was walking, crossing the street, and we had so many accidents during that period where young girls were actually just through accident because of crocheting. I was just following the trend. I wanted to do what everybody was doing, and it was summer because I had no other hobby. So that was one thing I always did during the period of summer vacation. Even sometimes during the weekends when I have nothing doing, then I'll do it. But I'm thinking I was around 9, 8, because at that time then I would definitely have some knowledge about what I'm doing, because if I'm younger than that, I don't think I'll be able to crochet. Or probably yes, but I'm guessing I was around 9, 9 years upwards. But when it comes to like crocheting as a crochet artist, I started in 2017. That was when I recently had just moved to Holland, and it was during the summer vacation also. I had nothing doing. I wasn't working a part-time job, and yeah, that was when I started. So the next question is from Alexa Matt. She asked, how did you start crocheting in terms of cash? How did you start up in terms of cash? So for me, I did not need any cash at the beginning because I could just go to the store and get myself one ball of yarn and then come make something. And whenever I have another euro, then I'll go to the shop and get myself another ball of yarn. And in the beginning, it was never a business for me. It was more like something I wanted to start doing, and then I started making it. People started liking it, and yeah, that was basically it. So I never needed a huge amount of money for me to start, because I never saw it as a business. I just saw it as something I used to do that I want to start doing again. So for me, cash was never a big deal. So yeah, The next question I have is, I want to start a crochet business, but I'm scared of messing up. Any advice? Start. I think you should just start. Whatever you want to do, actually, you should just start, because 2 or 3 years from now, let me even say 2 months from now, you will definitely be wishing I had started this a long time ago. Look at me, for example. I started YouTube a year ago, and now it's been a month that I'm actually putting the full work and putting the time, putting the effort into it. And I sit down every day and tell myself, what if I had done what I'm doing now 1 year ago? I'll probably be where I want to be by now. And what I would just advise you is start with the basic. You don't need a lot of cash, like I said from the beginning. You don't need a lot of money to start. You only need your time, your crochet hook, your yarn, and then your fingers, your hands, and then you start. And don't think about what other people are going to say, because if that's the case, then you wouldn't do anything, because people are going to talk regardless. So my advice to you is just start. When you start, every day you try and make something. With time, you're going to progress, you're going to get where you want to be. And I saw this, I was watching a YouTube video yesterday when the guy was literally talking about YouTube, and then he was like, quantity over quality. So obviously at the beginning, you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to be like somebody who has been crocheting for years. That is fine. It's really fine. It's not an issue. But practicing and making quantity, it's going to get you to a point where after making so many pieces, after making so many crochet items, you're going to improve with time. Your skills it's just going to get there, and you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have the brightest crochet design. You don't need to have just start. That's the best advice I will give you. The next question I have is, how do you size for crochet pieces? Do clients give you their measurement, or do you have your own sizing card? For me, at the beginning, I used to ask clients for measurement. I still do ask them when it's necessary. I did used to struggle with sizing a lot when I started, because when I was crocheting when I was young, I was just making items for myself, and they were never fitted the way they fit now. It's sometimes they were loose, sometimes they were too tight and stuff. So I still do ask for measurements when it's necessary, but I also have my own sizing card that I send them so they can choose between the size and tell me what their measurements are. But if sometimes I think it's necessary, it depends on the piece that I'm actually making, then I will ask them, and then they just send the measurements to me. Somebody asked, what do you think about having your own boutique? With boutique, I've never really thought about having my own boutique. When I was in Sierra Leone, because I went to Sierra Leone last year. What am I saying? So I went to Sierra Leone last year, and I did have an idea. I was thinking about having my own boutique in Sierra Leone, but it's really not something that is so high on my list that I really want to do or want to accomplish. If it comes along the way, then it's fine, but I just like online, because personally I'm not a social person. If that I feel like most people don't believe, but I'm not a social person. I don't like being around people that much, and I don't know how to talk to people. I'm very shy, so online is just perfect, because all I have to do is text, and you're actually not going to know that I'm shy because I'm texting you, right? So I prefer online way much than having my own boutique. But if it happens in the future, so be it. I'm not going to say no, I don't want a boutique, but it's not something I've been thinking about. Yeah. The next question I have is, my question is, how long did it take you to perfect with crocheting everything? I still don't think I'm perfect when it comes to crocheting, but thank you. I think that's a compliment. For me, like I said, when I started crocheting again in 2017, I was just making anything. Like, the sizing was off, the lengths were off, but what actually helped me was because I found my own style. Like I said, this crochet artist really just like, she took me out of my position, be like, come out of your comfort zone. She pushed me. But the thing is, she has a different style from me. I have a different style from her. So I, just because she motivated me and pushed me out of my comfort zone, I did not just go directly and start doing the things she was doing. There was no way I could even do those at that time. So what I did was I found my own style, and I started making clothes. I started making clothes for myself. At the beginning, they were not fitted. I'll probably have some pictures of the items I made in the beginning in 2017, so you guys can see how far I've actually come. But when it comes to fitting and everything, it's just practice. You're going to do and do and do and do all over again. So the next question I have is, how do you price your clothes? With pricing, it's something I'm still struggling with, because we all know crochet takes time. It's time consuming, and the product you use also, they are somehow expensive, because if I want to make a full dress or full outfit, it will probably take me like 10 to 12 balls of yarn, and when you check, that will be probably 30 euros, and that depends on the brand of yarn that I'm going for. If you want to go for a different brand, that means more money, so it's definitely expensive. But for me personally, I just find a balance, because I know at the end of the day, it's already expensive. I know I shouldn't sell them too expensive, and I know I shouldn't sell them too cheap, if it makes sense. So, but if I really sell them the way I want to sell them, I'll probably never sell any item. So I just find a balance in between. I make sure I get the amount that I used for the yarn aside, and then some amount for my own time, because my time is money. So it's basically, for me personally, it's basically what I use, the amount of money I use to get the yarn, and my time. And I just sometimes just balance it, depends on the situation, and it depends on the piece that I'm making for someone. So with price, it's different for everyone. You should just go ahead and find what works for you, and do what works for you, basically. The next question I have is, have you ever had swollen hands and painful hands from working too much? So I got this last year, and for 2 weeks completely, I couldn't do anything with my fingers, especially this one. I couldn't do anything with this finger, and this arm was just like, I couldn't move them. Like, I couldn't crochet for 2 weeks. That is actually the longest that I've gone without crocheting ever since I started in 2017. So if you've ever seen me crochet, I crochet with this finger fold. I don't know why I do it. It just helps me to like manage how fast my yarn goes through this finger. So this helps me to really manage how fast I crochet. So I always crochet with this bend like this. If you've seen me crochet, you've probably noticed this. And it got to a point where I couldn't move my fingers, and my arm was so, I couldn't crochet for 2 weeks. So I have gone through that process. All I did was just, my younger brother helped me to massage my fingers, and then I took a break. I needed to take the 2 weeks break. So ever since that incident, I always make sure I do this after crocheting. Like after a few hours, I'm just going to put everything down, make sure I do this, make sure I do this. I still need to find a way for me to stop using my finger like this. I do crochet like this sometimes, but it's really slow. I cannot crochet that slow. I don't know, it's just so uncomfortable for me when I'm crocheting slow. So I still need to find a way of stopping this. Sometimes I do wrap the yarn around this finger, but that is also slow, because while crocheting I need to unravel the one that I wrapped around my finger. So I still need to find a better solution for me to stop, because this finger is a bit tense. It's still a bit tense from the rest. So I will come back to this. But yeah, I've been through the process of where my fingers and my arms were just not doing it. And even my back, I've been through the same process with my back. So I would advise you to also make sure you stretch your body before and even after crocheting, because it's really helpful. You don't want to be 30 and you can't move your back. You have to make sure you take care of yourself. Even though you're working, you also have to take care of you. So the next question I have is how to measure. With measurement, it's just about you practicing and practicing and practicing, because crocheting is not the same as sewing. It's two different things, even though they have similar characteristics and everything, but somehow when it comes to measurement, they are two different separate things. So you can't say what you do for sewing is the same thing you're going to do for crocheting. And with crocheting, it's something you really need to go through, learn and stuff. I probably won't do a detailed video of how you can actually measure well or even better, in case you already know the basic, but I can't say everything in this video because it's more like practical. Instead of me talking, I need to show you. So I'll probably do a detailed video of the things I've learned along the way with measurements and how to measure people and how to get the perfect fit, because that is the most asked question I get all the time. So I'll do a detailed video about that. The next question I have is, do you work alone? Like, do you have anyone helping you, especially with others? Currently I do work alone. I don't have anybody helping me. I do everything alone. I go yarn shopping alone. I start my orders alone. I finish my orders alone. I create content alone. I create YouTube videos alone. I do everything alone. Few months ago of last year, I had somebody helping me. My friend, if you're saying this, she lives in Germany. She was helping me with orders, but for now we are not working together. But she's always a backup whenever I have so many orders and I'm so overwhelmed and I don't have time. She's definitely there to help me. The next question I have is, let's see. How do you come up with your ideas? I think she's trying to ask, how do I create my designs? I have another question here which says, where do you take your inspo for new designs? And with designs and how I come up with my designs, it can be anything. Like I have this white t-shirt on. I'll probably look at this t-shirt and be like, I want to make this in crochet. It's basically from everything, and I wouldn't make it like exactly like this t-shirt. I'll probably want to do a different pattern or even a different stitch, just so it looks different. When you see it, you know this is a shirt. The idea was a shirt, but you wouldn't really, it wouldn't look the same like the shirt I have on. Basically, if I have to play around with the sleeves so it doesn't look the same as the shirt, I'll do it. Like, I just play around with things. I can get inspo from anything. I'll probably be on Instagram scrolling and I'll see a dress and I'm like, I want to make this dress in a crochet. I want to make this dress, but I'll change the sleeve like this. I'll make it a bit longer. I'll make it a bit shorter. So I do get my inspo from basically anything. I'll be outside and I'll see something I like. I want to make something in crochet of it. I want to create that thing in crochet. So for inspo, it's like I get inspo from everything. There's no one thing I'll be like, oh, this is where I get my inspo from. I get it from every single thing, online, in life, real life. Sometimes it's even with colors. It's not even a design, with colors. And then if I see a color palette, then I'm like, oh, I want to use this color palette, and I already have a design that I want to use. It just comes in mind. So it's basically, I get my inspo from everywhere and anything. The next question I have is, what keeps you going? What keeps me going? I've been thinking about it lately because I do a lot of thinking. I think the thing that keeps me going is because I know for sure that I was made. I'm just hoping this person means like what keeps me going when it comes to crocheting, because I'm about to go. That's what I'm about to say. I don't know if she means that, but I'm hoping that's what she means. But when it comes to crocheting, I know for sure 100% that I was made to do this. I know God want me to do this, so that alone is enough for me to keep going. And I have days where I don't get orders at all. I have days where I'm like, where is my next order going to come from? Because we know this is a business. You're not going to know where your next order is going to come from. You don't know where your next client is going to come from. You don't know where your next pattern is going to come from. You don't know where your next views is going to come from. or I know deep inside of me, I just have this, there's this certainty that I know there is nobody's going to question it. Even me myself, I can't even question it. I just know I was made to do this. I know I was made to crochet. I know I was made to do what I'm doing now. So that alone keeps me going, because no matter how tough things get, I know it's just a phase that I'm going through. I know it's just a situation. Like God is just trying to teach me through different situation and different circumstances. So that alone keeps me going. So basically, because I know I was made to do this, I don't see myself doing anything else. I just keep going. Because most of the questions I have here are more about measurement and everything. So I definitely, like I said, I will make a detailed video of how I do measurement, because a lot of people want to know, and I get a lot of questions all the time about how I go about measurement. So I'll definitely, that is definitely going to be one of my videos that I will do, telling you guys how I actually go about measurements and everything. So guys, this is the end of this video. I really enjoyed filming this video. Thank you for all the questions that came in. If I didn't touch on anything and it's something you want to know and you want to see a part 2 of a Q&A, just definitely drop the questions in the comment section. So this time we'll be using the questions in the YouTube comment section in this video instead of Instagram. So I'll make a part 2 and give you guys the answers to all the questions you have, and I'll definitely try and make a up-to-date or detailed video of how I go about measurements and everything, since you guys really want to know. And if you also have any other suggestions and any other video ideas or anything else that you want to see, want to know, definitely drop them also in the comment section, and give me a big thumbs up if you like this video. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Ciao.